Now, I've heard a lot of these folks that are sitting here today attended Graceland University. Is that right? Is that right?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you went to Graceland University. How many? Oh my goodness, look at all those Graceland folks. Oh, that's great.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to Arrow Nicely News. Today is Friday, July 23rd, 2021. My name is Lenny Hernandez and today is all about friendships inside our communities. One of our mottos here at Arrow Senior Living is that good friends make great neighbors. And we wanted to take some time today to show you a perfect example of that in action. Over at the Parkway Senior Living in Blue Springs, Missouri, there is a group of great friends living in the villas. This friend group started out with just a few who attended the same college, Graceland University, many years ago, and it has expanded into a fairly big friend group. With more on that, we go to Arrow Nicely News correspondent Charlie Johnson, who gathered the group together to have a delightful chat about them living at the Parkway.
I have a real connection to this group because I know almost every single one of them or their family. I went to Graceland with Judy and Everett, Barb and Jerry, and with Ellie Clausen 65 years ago was when I met them. And I've known Ray from our church for many, many years. We went to the same congregation at Community of Christ. I know Bill, I know his whole family. I taught with his brother. I went to Graceland with his sister and his cousin. I went to church with his other sister, and I met him here, and he's been a wonderful friend because we are family here.
You know, you all need to somebody needs to make some kind of a tree. and figure out all the connections that you all have and all the interconnections. I think it would be amazing to see that because. But go ahead.
Well, that's what I would say about this place because I know people who live at John Knox and other senior places, and they go in, they form their friendships, and they have one or two other couples that they know, and they do things with. With this, like you say, I can open my door and there's 7 or 8 families that are just as close as family.
Isn't that great? Isn't that a wonderful feeling?
And that's what sold me on this place, you know.
You know, you think you've had these friends all our lifetime, but we have many new friends. You sit at the table and you begin to get their history, and it becomes much more than this clique of people down here in the villas, but it is. You know, on the north side, there are those that are in the villas, and so we join with them. They've become friends. So the friendship is not looking in. The friendships are growing out, and it's just multiplying the number of friends.
We had a little bit of an interesting story too. Junior had this stroke-like episode, and we had to get out of our house because it had too many levels in it.
Sure.
And we were looking around, and we had actually made a deposit at John Knox. And this is before we knew everybody was coming out here at that particular time. And but we had been finding a little bit more out about it all the time. And then in a casual conversation at home, Junior said, well, if you die first, I'm not going to stay out there all by myself. And I thought, wow. So we started looking more, and then Jim Clausen got a hold of us. And the more we found out about it, the more we decided that we got our money back, and we signed up for out.
Well, Bill, what's your favorite thing about the Parkway Senior Living?
I have to say the North Villa Flats.
Well, tell me, how often do you ride your bike in the flats?
Every day if I can.
Very good.
Yeah, and the villas on the other side have a nice, almost level parkway, driveway in front of them. And I do 10 laps down there every day if I can. And there are 9 villas there. So I start at one end and I call their names. and I do a lap for them. And I come back and I call the next, Rosie's in the next one. I call this lap's for you, Rosie, and I do another lap. And I go right on down the line until I name everyone. You get my 10 laps means I do one just for myself.
So whose idea was it to actually move to the Parkway?
Right over there.
Right here? All right.
Continue the story.
Yes, please do.
They told the people that are right here, the Clausens, L.A. and Jim Clausen. And their son then called Judy and me to say, there's one more villa left. You better grab it now. The next day we were out here, we had nothing in mind of moving. So they started it all, and if anything went wrong, it's their fault.
Best thing we ever did.
If you have close friends close by, it's a comfort to know you've got friendship, assistance, somebody to help take care of either you or your spouse in those interim times, because things do happen and you know they're going to happen ultimately. So to have a community like this is helpful and comforting.
I think the same thing. Every single one in here, there's always someone there to help, no matter what it is. Howard, I know, has helped many, many people. Bill's always there for everybody. Jerry and Barb are always there. Everett and Judy are always there. Everybody's here for everybody here. And Ellie, losing her husband, she knows she has a family here that is always there for her. And that's the best thing of living here, is that we do have more than most people have.
I love the floor plan. And we didn't even see it before we came in. They were building it and we took it, but I tell you, when I can't sleep at night and I walk around, I'm thanking the Lord for each room. You know? No kidding.
They're a godsend.
Okay. And what is that? Explain for folks that are watching.
Oh, okay, well this is a, what do you call it, a help watch or something. You know, if I fall down and break my nose, I push that and they come running.
We all decided, one by one, this is where we wanted to live.
Back to the question as to when good friends moved in, how did that make you feel? You know, Lynn, she just moved in not too many months ago, and is that the Lynn Shotwell that was a cheerleader at Graceland, you know? And, you know, it's just wonderful to have that. And I guess, you know, Bill, and it makes a difference to know somebody, doesn't it, Lynn?
So how important is it for you to know that your friends are here with you at the same senior living community? How important is that to you to know that they are here?
Very important.
Very important, yes. That's one of the main reasons we ended up coming here rather than at John Knox, because we knew who was coming, and we know we would have some local friendships that could be developed even further, yeah.
You know, I could have moved somewhere else, but where would I go? I mean, there's no place like this, no place like home.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy to be here, and the friendships run deep and strong.
So Lynn, what advice would you give other residents that are currently living in senior living communities? What advice would you give them?
I would say join our group.
Thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you to all the residents there who participated in the interview. Look, if you or someone you know is looking for a community where your good friends can become your neighbors, or your neighbors can become your good friends, find your local Aero community and get in touch with them today. Well, everybody, that'll do it for today's episode of Aero Nicely News. I'm Lenny Hernandez, and until next week, everybody, have a great and joyous week. We'll see you then. Take care.